If 2020 has taught us anything, it is to appreciate what we have, even if it might not be what we fully expected. Back in the summertime, Kentucky high school football teams were wondering if they'd even get a chance to play this fall. One team that was determined to keep its season going was Owensboro. And because of that determination, the team is now less than 24 hours from competing for a state title. For the first time since 2014, the Owensboro Red Devils are heading to state after their wild semifinal win over Frederick Douglass. Now, for those of you wishing to play basketball in grooves, the gym is holding off on allowing that for right now, but will announce at a later date when it's safe to do so. Reporting in Evansville, Andrew Garcia, 44 News.
And in sports, East Chicago hits the road to take on West Side for a massive game. Here's a look at the action from that showdown.
First place in the Great Lakes Conference is up for grabs. East Chicago Central and West Side both come into this one unbeaten in league play. We'll start in the second quarter. East Chicago down 3. Makai Gillis attacks, almost loses his footing, but stays firm and finds Najee Moo in the corner. The freshman cans the 3-ball. Cardinals pull even. Freshmen continue to lead the way for EC later. Zayden Johnson comes up with the offensive board and the putback for 2. East Chicago jumps in front 14-12. West Side not phased though. The Cougars go inside to Deshaun Clay Jr., the freshman with the floater. Back and forth we go. Just over 2.5 until the break. West Side plays long ball. Reginald Hinton skips cross court to Julian Holmes. The senior lines one up from deep. Down the hatch it goes for the southpaw. West Side regains the lead. Later, defense turns into offense for the home team. Holmes hustles for the loose ball. Finds King Johnson. The sophomore hesitates, drives baseline and connects with Hinton. The senior puts it on the deck and he's cleared for takeoff. Hinton throws it down. Cougars take an 8-point lead into the locker room. Out of the break, EC looks to turn the momentum back in its favor. Joseph Watkins Jr. shows off his smooth handles, hangs in the paint and hits the J. Cardinals trying to keep pace, but the night belongs to West Side. On the inbounds, Hinton fires over the top to Tyler Cruz. The big man goes up strong off the window. West Side pulls away and collects a 56-47 victory. In mid-February, Gene Hackman and his wife Betsy Arakawa passed away at their home in New Mexico. To honor Hackman, a showing of the film Hoosiers took place in Knightstown, where he brought coach Norman Dale to life. The gathering drew fans from all over, including as far away as Utah.
I've always been interested in the filming locations. I'm a location manager, a film location manager, so I've done my whole career, and I've kind of got interested in that. So then a couple years ago, I came to Indiana and was looking around at some of the filming locations and started following the Hoosier Gym on Facebook. And I saw that this screening was going to happen, and I knew I had to come.
Hackman originally had his doubts about the film's chances at success, but with time, he eventually saw the impact it had on its audiences.
Initially, he was a little bit skeptical about whether or not it would see the light of day. It was kind of Angelo and David's first film, feature film. And I think in his mind, Gene thought it should be more about dialogue and kind of the actors and that type of thing, rather than a lot of the basketball action. But I have found out all these years later that he kind of recanted on that and has said that David and Angelo got it right. They actually knew that that formula would be successful, and in fact it was.
Perseverance and second chances are key themes in the movie, both of which still get fans on their feet cheering almost 40 years later.
This film was very independent in its origins. It was a movie that maybe was not going to be made, but these guys fought for it to be made, and they got the right people involved. And Gene Hackman, even though in the beginning was like, I don't know if I want to do this, he did it, and he took it to the next level.
People gravitate to it, even if you're not a sports fan, because people love it when the underdog overachieves and makes good, because I think that makes them feel good about themselves and says, hey, if they can do it, I can do it. So, yeah, it's a basketball movie, but it's a redemption movie.
Though Coach Hackman is no longer manning the sidelines, his performance and desire to help others improve are what will be remembered forever.
They used to say Larry Bird made the players around him better. That's what made him great. And Gene was the same way. Because he had kind of that humble spirit, it wasn't intimidating to other actors in the film, and I think they felt confident in their abilities. And I know we certainly did as players. So I think that's one of Gene's lasting legacies, is that he was able to make actors around him better.
He's a great respecter of people, and he took his life experiences, I believe, and melded them into this Coach Norman Dale, and really brought those skills, those life experiences together, and you can see it on film. You can really tell that he's listening, that he cares, that he loves these guys. His final line, "I love you guys," felt so sincere and so real, and I believe that came from a real place.
I love you guys. referee sophomore number 21, Michelle Redfield.
Whenever our favorite player is introduced in the lineup or makes a big play, we get up and cheer for them. Quashelle Redfield, however, does not hear that. When she was just a few years old, her family was informed that she was deaf, but that has not stopped her from pursuing her basketball dreams.
I started playing basketball when I was about 2 or 3 years old, and I've grown up wanting a future with the sport, and I have the feeling in my heart that I can do that. When I started school, my mother and I played basketball in the living room while I waited for the bus, and it was disappointing to have to leave for school, but we always played once I came home.
Playing hoops isn't easy, and not being able to hear makes it even more difficult. Redfield, however, has always been able to adjust.
I'm always focused on what I need to do on the court, and while I am deaf, I have to pay more attention to the things like moving the ball as well as my surroundings so that I can be successful.
I have played against Tamika Catchins, who was also one of my mentors at the Nike All-American camp when I was in high school, and she is deaf, I want to say in one ear. I get an understanding, knowing that I have to communicate eye to eye, and then also taking my time when I communicate so she can understand me.
Behind any successful player is a strong support system. The Hammond Central Sophomores team strives to help her do her best.
IQ is hard to get nowadays, so I'm trying to just help her to get a feel for the game, because sometimes she'd be kind of a step behind. But I think when she get a feel of the game, she's going to be a great player.
We talk on the court. We have a group chat, so we're texting it. I don't know. When we just practice, it brings us together. I learned how to say, I love you, and you're my bestie.
Redfield believes her experience is one from which we can all learn, and she wants her message heard loud and clear.
Don't ever give up and always stay focused on yourself. The negative things other people say doesn't matter as long as you stay focused on yourself. You should be proud of yourself, but push yourself and remain consistently motivated at the same time. Staying strong throughout your body and thinking positive will make good things happen.